Hey YouTube, coming at you with the legend team from Z, who says, I'm a trainer. The last season hit my goal of the year with reaching 3,500 rating. I ended up with 3507 and rank 110 on the leaderboard. I tested another challenge this season where I tried to reach legend without using any Pokemon rated top 100 on PvPoke in any league. Got close in Remix, I reached 2910, but after that plummeted and realized the challenge was more frustrating than fun and gave up. Used this team to hit Legend on Sunday. Unfortunately, it struggles against Bastiodon, Shadow Vic, and Wiggly, especially when Vic or Bastiodon is the lead. You can see me tackle both of those in some clips here. On the right side, this team destroys Annihilate. Go ahead and roast me to a crisp. It's probably going to be tough for me to roast the 3,500 player. Yeah, so already kind of called out the weakness of that team. Otherwise, if you're just looking at like overall flexibility, I think it's got a bit of everything, right? You got everything for Annihilate, not anything weak to like Gligar. So a lot of the stuff in the meta that you're seeing, you probably have answers to, except for that crappy line. So feraligatr's a decent lead because you resist the Shadow Claw. So just going to stay in here. One Hydro will not take you out, obviously, but a second one will. But this is a very comfortable matchup that you can just take it in the shield scenarios. And they give up switch, and Gligar is going to say, the only thing with Gligar is going to outpace you. So giving up a couple charms there, which is okay. I think one Hydro maybe have taken out Shadow anyway, so maybe you want to get in there a bit sooner. But going to get off this Hydro. This should take out, they're going to shield, knowing that they can get to a move here. These wing attacks are adding up, so they're going right on the CMP again. Feraligatr is going to win that. Does take it out. They're going to come their own and get ahead on energy here. Not a bad idea. Coming in here, they decide to get out, and now the only problem is this will get out of a Zap Cannon, which you kind of need to shield. You can get to a Flame Charge. Going to build up to 100 energy, so you can go back to back here if you need to. Going to undercharge and try to get off this Incendiary to take it out. Okay. Able to get off that Incendiary to take it out. This will grab a shield, and they're going to have to throw out. They're going to grab a second shield. Okay, yeah, this game's over. I wonder if they threw and took you out, probably beat you there. I don't know why they held. Again, I don't know how much energy they had, but it seemed like a lot. Okay, so this should be easy because you have 3 answers to Annihilate. There's a Bastiodon, kind of feraligatr. So the good news is you'll like outpace this with these Hydros, and the Hydros will probably do, even though it's a non-Shadow feraligatr, probably 50% minimum. Ooh, not quite, but the claws will add up enough. So you got a shield. And now you're just going to outpace here. So the claws should add up enough that you can probably take it out with one more Hydro. And there it is. There is the Hydro. You may need 1 or 2 more claws here. Ooh, maybe 3. Yeah, you're going to need 3 or 4 claws. So knowing that they're at their move, going to grab a shield. And now they're saying, do you want to use your second shield or take switch here? And you have Annihilate. Sorry, you have Talonflame in the back for Annihilate. So you don't need to get out of here. And they have a Dugong. So they do not know what's in the back yet, so this is fine. They're probably going to lower your attack here, try and lower the charm damage that's being done here, which is fine. We take that. Going to then bank that energy and come in here. I guess it makes sense because your attack is lowered. Now, I assume they'll just sacrifice this. It'd be kind of weird with your attack lowered to shield up anything here. Now they're going to potentially get to a Night Slash. You decide to just over farm. The Incendiary did go through, so you can probably go 1 more and get to 2 moves here with Fly. Yeah. Now they're going to try and just farm you down and come out with a move here. They live 1, and you can see the snipe trying to happen here. Basically, you're going to try and force them to throw that energy. Mandibuzz into feraligatr again. This is your sort of one of your best answers to feraligatr. What the heck was that? Okay, maybe just a spinning in the game or whatever. You're going to have to shield up this one. I think... Okay, you live with like a 1 HP, but now they could potentially... Ooh, double claw down. Yeah, that's my only concern. Like, Hydro Cannon does a ton, even on feraligatr. They come in Quagsire. So you now lost your really nice switch there. You do get the attack fall. They will start spamming. The thing is, with the attack fall, you can probably live a couple of these moves here. And it's not like Snarl's going to take you down anyways. So if you want, you can just shield out Charm and then just start charming the Mandibuzz and start putting up some damage that way. Going to double shield because you want to try and get this out of here. Hopefully they're smart enough. Yeah, that's a smart player. Not going to have one Mandibuzz with nothing to reset on because here comes the Icy Wind to lower their attack. Just going to out Charm. You can take a Aerial Ace here. Probably hoping to get to a second one and then maybe getting into the Talonflame here. And that is what happens. We get off the second Icy Wind. They shield because they have to. They do get to move. Their attack is 2 times lower now though. They did bank the Quagsire, so you gotta be aware of that. I was going to say I would probably get out into Talonflame just to save. Not that you need it, but probably just save it just in case. And mostly just get ahead on energy, quite honestly. Like, don't let them... Oh, and they transferred the damage onto this, so it does not matter. I would just get out there quicker just to get the incinerate damage and start getting energy. Okay, so there's your Bastiodon. And you're staying in because you're potentially raiding a crap backline for you anyways, right? So, going to shield the Stone Edge. Or Flamethrower, I guess. Okay. Charmin... Smackdown are 3-turn fast moves each, so it does not matter when you throw. Lowering the attack. Gonna play this out, but man, it's a bad matchup. You'll probably live because you lower their attack, but they're gonna take the shield and the switch here, which is a bad situation to be in, and not even gonna lower their attack for a second time. Just gonna try and do the chip damage, which I don't think is necessary because you have the Hydro coming in. If anything, I probably would have just like lowered their attack more. They recognize that you have nothing for this team, so they're making the instant swap to draw out whatever you have for the Vic, knowing that you potentially do not have an answer for this team. And out comes the Bastion again. The good news is you do have some energy here, so this will likely grab a shield, especially if it is the Wiggly in the back. So you grabbed one and you go back to back. They just may try and smack you down. They may double shield and just smack down here. And try and get a move off here. I think you have to commit shield and commit to the farm down to come out with a couple Hydros. And that's exactly what you're trying to do. And there's the stupid Wiggly. Now, my only worry is non-Shadow feraligatr may... Okay, I was going to say may take a couple more than... Because your claws are resisted. And you don't have that extra Hydro damage. So let's be close to see if it takes out. It does, and you have enough energy. Nice work around there. So, kind of heads up by both players. Like, I think your opponent was kind of smart to not like just get farmed down. Well, it's tough in hindsight to look at. Like, man, but they lost. If they stayed in, they could have aligned. So it was kind of a tough one because you lost switch and you lost shield immediately. And then you came for Alligator to just basically try and farm. And they said, I'm not going to let you farm, so I know how this team works. I'm just going to come in right away. Now, if they let you farm, well, because then you have to worry about like Ice Beam, but then you have the Shadow Vic on it, and then it would have been, I mean, it would have been bad in the back line because Talon would have beat them. So, I don't know. It's kind of tough on their end. Yeah. Okay, did they switch? Was this just bad editing by me? What just happened here? Okay, something weird happened with the matchup. I think you're behind. You lagged a little bit or something. Anyways, the Empoleon. So they had a Empoleon lead. Wiggly was terrible. So you went in for Alligator. They get off a Drill Peck. Now they come in mirror match. Hydro will take you out from this range. So you're going to shield. Not that you can even flip switch at this point because you have lower health and behind on energy and shields now. And you just lost CMP to So that really sucks. I was going to say, not that I'm going to rip you, but just like a FYI, people, when you're in a mirror match that is decided by your attack, you should have a pretty good idea whether you're going to win or lose CMP here, right? So a 1-14-11 means that in a mirror match, if they have anything higher than a 1 attack feraligatr, you're going to lose CMP. So probably throw that hydro before you potentially lose CMP. Like you'll see in my earlier battles from this season, on my Gligar, my Shadow Gligar, which has like an 8 attack, I'm almost always throwing on CMP because I think with an 8 attack, I'm probably going to win most of the time. But if I have a 0 or a 1 or even a 2 attack Pokemon and I'm in a mirror match, I don't really want to test Fate to CMP. And if I want CMP, I'm probably going to find that out immediately on the first time around. So I know I'm like, if I have like a 1 or 2 attack and then I throw it on like the first, let's say we both, again, it's easier when you have even energy, even shit, like you're starting from like a base case scenario. If you throw it on the first time, you'll know if you win CMP and then you can figure out if you want to catch or not. But tried to CMP, lost it there. Coming back in the Wiggly, the Empoleon's going to come in. You're behind on shields. So this is going to be tough. Steel Wing is resisted, but the Hydros are going to be super effective and they're going to get to them very fast. So we're going to shield this up. I think they could just commit to a double shield and get a Hydro off on you here. So going for this, the thing is, I don't think you can take this out with one more Incinerate, and I think they'll get to a move here. Yeah. So they're easily going to commit the shield just to take you out here. And now they're going to Steel Wing your thing with a shield advantage. And they're going to Frenzy you well before you take them out because they have a shield. So they can shield. That's fine. Get to the Frenzy. Probably takes you out still. Maybe in the deep red. And they could just take out what's left of you here. With a couple Vine Whips. Yeah. That's tough. There's not much you can do there. Okay. Sableye, great lead. They'll get out. There's your Vigoroth. Not for much longer. They are going to come in and Body Slam you. You really don't, I mean, so we're going to just stay in. And now you have to start burning shields. Again, you don't have an immediate answer. I'm surprised you can come Talonflame. I understand that Rock Slide would one-shot. But counters are resisted, and then you can kind of ramp up for when the Sableye comes back in. And they let it go. Even a Claw would take you out before the next Charm registers if the Sableye comes back in. Because it's a 2 or 3 turn fast move. So coming in feraligatr, which again is just evenish at best. I maybe would have switched into Talonflame in that Vigoroth matchup, understanding that Rock Slide baits are going to be very tricky in that matchup. But I don't even think a Hydro takes this out. And the Claws are adding up on their end, so you got to force a shield back. They may shield still and try and get a move off on you. Maybe they just let it go. And okay, they are going to shield and try and get this move off. Not gonna be enough to take you out. It's gonna be so both you not wanting to go down. Advantage, I would assume, kind of a tough one because it's Shadow Ball versus Fly, both stab. Not enough to take it out. So now I think advantage them. I just didn't know how much unless they bait. No, they have to go Shadow Ball. You get another. Oh yeah, I just get taken out there. Okay. No, I was about to say, that's tough. Yeah, the advantage was, again, not next season. Doesn't matter. I can't believe all these updates. The thing was you outpace. I think you outpace with the Fly. But it looks like just the Shadow Ball damage is just overall better. Let me just confirm that. So we have a Talonflame, which takes, I think, 3 and 2 to get to a Fly. Yeah, so Incinerate for a Fly is 3 the first time and 2 the second time. While Skeledirge is 3 the first time to Shadow Ball and 3 the second time. Right? So that's why I thought you had an advantage. Because you do, if you're just going straight Shadow Ball, you would get to the second Fly one before they got to a Shadow Ball. The problem is Fly is just not as good of a move as Shadow Ball, so the fly does a little less damage. You probably need another one. You can incinerate down while the Shadow Ball damage does register enough to put you low enough to just take you down. So terrible lead coming straight for Alligator. At least you got caught on their animation. So this is so you're going straight. Okay, I don't know about this just because. Well, actually, this move is out of. No, this is why I said I don't know about this. They're going to shield at anything. You can get to the Ice Beam and throw. You can get to the Ice Beam, sure. But honestly, even if you just get to the Hydro and throw the Hydro, they may even shield the Hydro, quite honestly. It's not a Razor Leafer. It's the Community Day move, which still kind of hurts. Like you saw, you just got taken down by it. But because it's not a Razor Leafer, it would not take you out immediately after like the first Hydro. So if it's a Razor Leafer and you're only going to get one move, yes, throw the Ice Beam to grab the shield. But if it's this Community move that is faster charging but slower on the damage, I think you can just probably go with the back-to-back Hydros there if they try to go for the aggressive farm down. So coming in Talonflame, but they're going to have Sludge Bomb now, right? Because this is the Community move that is just fast charging. So they're going to have a Sludge Bomb. Will incinerate them down. If it's not Bastion on the back, it's Azumarill, which is this is tough. This is a tough team for this. So gonna go in, come in, Charm, just get hit with a Skeldurge. They're probably just gonna farm up to like 100 because they can. Okay, gonna throw it here. They can only throw Disarming Voice. Shadow Ball's resisted, so it's not gonna take you out. Going for the Disarming Voice yourself. And now they're going to have some energy. They're going to throw immediately. You're going to shield because Shadow Ball would hurt, but now you just leave yourself open to the Azumarill, which has a shield advantage. Maybe they have Ice Beam play rough, so you'll live an Ice Beam, but they can just bubble. Oh no, they're probably going to need another one now. Going for the Flame Charge. Hoping they're stupid and shield, but they do not. Yeah. That was kind of your only win con. Again, I would be very surprised in the 3,000 range if your opponent shielded that. For those of you who are in the lower range, there's only one win con on our end. And I don't even know if it is a true win con, but it's basically boosting your attack with Flame Charge and then landing a fly. And honestly, I don't even know if a boosted fly takes Azumarill out from that range. But one fly from that range, not boosted, would not take Azumarill out. So the only sort of potential lose con for the opponent is to shield up the first one. So that is why they let it go, which is a smart move, and one that you should be making, like reading your sort of win and lose cons in that range. You should be able to make that play and not shield that. So they have to throw a Discharge because X Scissors resisted. You can throw the Disarming Voice here. Going for the Disarming Voice instead of the Icy Wind. So obviously Disarming Voice is a better move. Disarming Voice would have taken out from the range. Icy Wind probably would not have. Most people throw Icy Wind just to lower the attack. Does not matter too much in the ending here. They just throw the resisted. Now you have two things weak to electric in the back. So just going to come to Talonflame where you can just light the bug up. And they have, being double weak to electric in the back is not ideal when you're against a double electric team. Okay. That's unfortunate. So get that. You have to shield, assuming it's Thunder Punch. And now you got to start blasting these Hydros. They'll probably commit to the aggressive farm down because they can come out with multiple moves. Although the claws are, yeah, you know what? I was about to say it may be actually smarter to throw here because claws Hydro is going to do more than incinerate fly. Because claws are neutral and Hydro is such a hard hitting move. And flies resist. Incinerate's hard hitting too though. But maybe they should outpace you at this point still. Going to boost the attack. I don't know about this unless you think this boosted attack Incinerate can take it out. Yeah, it doesn't matter in the ending. I think you just have to try and go for the quicker moves to try and get to them. Again, you're kind of screwed double electric team against two things weak to electric, so not much you could do, but... Okay, last battle. Gligar, again, a neutralish lead. Gonna let this move go, assuming they're just gonna go double aerial ace, because I don't know if one dig takes out from that range, but double aerial ace will definitely take out. They are not throwing, which is surprising. Like, yeah, let me grab that shield, and then I'll just take switch. I'll lose switch, but your attack is lowered, and I don't need to worry about shielding the Wiggly. So, okay. Let that go. Then we'll have a second move, right? So, you could... I say Talonflame, and that's exactly what you do. They come in Poliwrath. Incinerate's resisted, but you have that fly. So this should grab a shield because they may try Icy Wind you. I'd be surprised if they just sacrifice this. Again, they're going to lose, and I think it's worth staying in here to grab the shield, like take them out. But I think they're just going to try and lower your attack first, which is fine. Going for the fly right away. Your attack is lowered, so depending on what comes in, you might want to just instant swap to Feraligatr to reset that. But we're going to see what comes in first before we make that decision. It is an Annihilate, so counter is resisted. Getting to that fly again. Your attack is lowered, so it may not take them out. You're going to just stay in here and force them to throw. The damage is done. Let this go. Come in and claw. Shield advantage. This is a easy game over here. So congrats on Legend. Yeah, I like not much to say. A couple things maybe you should have played slightly different, but it's not. Again, I would be very, very surprised. I can roast people in the 2100, 2200s. That's no problem because there's a lot of plays where just like, no. But when you're in like the 3000 plus range, like it's very hard for me to point out. It's very hard for me to roast you. You'd have to make like a significant mistake. And at that point, I think it's probably a mistake. And that's the thing. Like in the 2100, like what separates all these ranges? Let's talk about that for like a minute here as we end the video. What separates all the ranges of people? So if you're a legend, you know what you're doing. Like not saying that you don't make like people won't make mistakes. Like again, I hit legend and I don't count. I'd say like I know like 98% of the typings at this point. So I still make mistakes constantly and play games where it's just like, what are you doing? But the what am I doing games are like few and far between, right? So yes, I'm going to have a bad matchup here or there and make a mistake here and there. But for the most part, I know what I'm doing constantly. And that's the thing with all 3,000 like legend players. Like, yes, they may make some mistakes, click the wrong move, come into the wrong Pokemon, maybe delay or something a little bit when they shouldn't have. But for the most part, it's like those are just like one-off mistakes as opposed to like not understanding what to do. I would say if you're in like the 2700 range-ish, you generally know what's going on. You probably have a lot of the basic fundamentals down. But you probably struggle in like one of like the larger areas, whether it be, I'm not even talking about like, I don't even really care about counting and fast move optimization. It's more just like finding your win con, understanding like when you need to stay versus swap and how you play certain teams. So I think you're probably in the 2700 range. If you got to that, you're probably just missing one of those things. If you're in like the 2200, 2300 range, you're probably missing a lot. Everything from what I just said about like understanding win cons and understanding when to switch to basic fundamentals of like team comp build and counting and when in throw and stuff like that. So you're probably missing a lot in that range. So like when I look at these battles and I get like a 21, 2200 range, like it's very easy for me to be like, oh yeah, you need to work on these 3 or 4 things. If you're in the 2700 range, same thing. I'll be like, okay, you like in these certain situations, you need to put it that way. But in the 3000 plus range, it's kind of like, maybe I would have played this differently because of this reason. But for the most part, it's just like, you probably know what you're doing. Anyways, that is it. Yeah, so I'm going to pump out, I'm going to blast out every video that I have in the submission below, because next season these move sets and teams will not matter. And then we'll start fresh next season. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.